You are about to hear a conversation between a man and a woman who are having a discussion about enrolling in a university course. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 7. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 7.
Registrar's office, this is Pam.
Yes, hello. I'm calling about enrolling to study at the university. This is the right number?
Yes, this is Milford University admissions. What would you like to know?
Well, basically I need to know what I have to do to be enrolled as a student. You see, I'm currently studying education at another school. I've just finished my first year, but I'm not really enjoying it. I think I'm more interested in accounting. My dad teaches maths, so I thought it might be a good choice. Well, better than business anyway.
Okay. Have you received a registration pack?
No? How can I get one of those?
Well, you've got to have one to register. You can enroll at the university at any time after you receive a registration pack. These are usually available from September for first-year and transferring students, and from November for returning students. On the basis of the information contained in the registration pack, you should attempt to make a firm choice about which courses to study before completing your form.
I see. So I've only got a month to get my registration pack in. Can you send me one?
Sure. If you are close to a high school, the registration pack and university prospectus are available from the Careers Advisor. Would that be helpful?
Well, the closest school's too far away and I haven't got a car. Are there any other ways you can send it to me?
Well, for prospective students who have already left school, the registration pack and prospectus are available from the university information line. But that might not be of help for you?
No, not really.
I'll tell you what, why don't you give me your contact details and I'll send a pack out to you. At least that would be a start.
Okay, sounds good.
Right. Firstly, what's your name?
Richard Dreyfus. That's Dreyfus.
Your address there, Richard?
Unit 12, 15 Sportsman Avenue. That's Sportsman, Mermaid Beach. 4554.
And your telephone?
Yes, I won't give you my home. Mobile's best. 0414. Hang on a minute, I don't call myself usually. I think it's 0414 658 339. Yes, that's it.
Okay, now, do you have email?
Yes, I do. It's Dreyfus, my last name, at IGO. That's IGO.com. All lowercase letters, of course.
Before you listen to the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 8 to 10. Now listen carefully and answer questions 8 to 10.
Okay, that looks fine. Now, do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I've got a friend who is interested in studying at the university. I'm not sure what would be the best way for him to register. Can you give me some suggestions?
Sure, there are 3 ways to register. Option 1 is telephone registration. Before you telephone, fill out the registration form included in your pack. This will ensure you have all the information that you require. The number is in your registration packet. Don't forget to hold on to a copy of your registration form for future reference.
Yep, okay.
Option 2 is registration by post. All you have to do there is complete the relevant sections of the registration form and post the completed form together with all documentation required in the envelope provided.
All right.
The third way is to simply come in. Visit the Student Information Center in the Information Services building, and your friend will receive personal assistance on how to complete his forms.
Thanks very much. You've been most helpful.
You're welcome. Good luck with your future studies.
That is the end of section 1. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers. You will hear a presentation from a ship's captain telling guests about what cruises are available. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 16.
Welcome to all our passengers. My name is Captain Gordon Peterson and I'm one of the 4 captains here at NZ Dreaming Cruises. My purpose in the next few minutes is to give you an overview of what cruises are available for you to choose from. Once you have decided which one you'd like to go on, from this central area we will board the boats for your individual cruises. I am assuming by now that you have read the brochures we sent to you, so I'll only take the time to mention the highlights of 3 of our cruises. Now we do have additional cruises on different days, but these are the 3 that we're offering passengers today. And please feel free to ask any questions you may have. Okay then, to begin. The Mitre Lodge Cruise has consistently been one of the most popular cruises we offer. It's a 2-day sightseeing spectacular. You will see the original homestead of Donald Sutherland, who arrived in the area in 1877. It's a real treat to see such an old building. Most people are not actually able to go in. However, included in the $170 price, we offer a tour of the old home. The lodge itself is now used solely as a part of the Milford track guided walk and is not available for any other accommodation. We will arrive at the Mitre Lodge and there spend the first night and next day before cruising home. The Milford Sound Cruise is next. We used to operate this one daily from the wharf situated in Freshwater Basin, but recently we've upgraded the experience to a 3-day, $240 voyage. Up until 1979, this area was also used as an anchorage for the Milford fishing fleet. We offer an opportunity to go fishing on this one. Don't worry if you don't know much about fishing. We also include a free fishing lesson with the cruise. You anglers won't want to miss this one. Our next cruise is more for the outdoor adventurer. We've called it Adventure Bound. This 4-day trip starts with a visit to Lion Mountain. Rising to a height of 1,302 metres, or 4,272 feet, you had better be sure to pack your climbing boots. Now don't worry if you don't have any. Boots and basic outdoor survival skills are included in the $340 price. On day 2, we go whitewater rafting, and if there's still snow on the mountain, we'll have a chance to go skiing.
Before you listen to the rest of the presentation, you have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 17 to 20.
Now, just to let you know what is available as far as facilities are concerned. Our boats are fully equipped to offer you most of the comforts of home. However, a few things may be different. For example, showers. Please keep them to around a minute as we have limited heated water. There are no TVs on board, but you can listen to the radio to keep up to date with the outside world. You'll find that nature will provide most of the entertainment. Speaking of water, nature will provide a special surprise. As we cruise in close to the rock face of Fairy Falls, you'll be able to try your skill at catching a cup of the pure alpine water from the falls. Not everyone is successful at this, but over the years our staff have become very proficient at filling large containers full of this beautiful alpine water. There's always plenty in the kitchen for you to enjoy. And sorry, no swimming. We wouldn't want any of you to die from exposure. Meals. Meals are served at the same times. Breakfast is always from 6:30 in the morning and 12:30 for lunch. Dinner is served at 6 p.m. and we serve all meals for 1 hour. If you come after that, sorry, but you'll have to wait for the next scheduled meal. Our staff on board work very hard to prepare meals daily for your enjoyment. All we ask is that when you finish your meal, you take your time to wash any dishes you use and place them on the main counter. Our staff will put them in the kitchen, and your cooperation here would greatly assist us in helping run the cruise. Okay, that's enough from me. Let's board the boats. Have a great time.
That is the end of section 2. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers. You will hear a university professor giving information about student assessments. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now listen and answer questions 21 to 25.
Okay, I'd like to take a moment now to talk about the assessment requirements for this semester. Firstly, as you can clearly see on your handout, there are 4 assessments this semester: an oral report, an essay and 2 exams. They're weighted 20% each for the oral report and the essay, and the remaining 60%, as you can see, is divided equally between the 2 exams. Yes, John?
Yes, Dr. Thomas. Regarding the oral report, can we present this with a partner, or must it be handled individually?
In the past, oral reports have been researched and presented in small groups of 2 or 3, but this year we've decided to try them singly and see how they go. We're certainly not locked into any one way. All we do ask is that you use PowerPoint for your presentations. The university has all the equipment you will need to deliver the presentation. Further details can be found at the library. Yes, young lady at the back.
I noticed that there's no word limit given on the essay. Can you give us some more details about that?
Actually, the limit is listed. It just happens to be on the next page. A technical problem with the printing. Now you'll be pleased to hear that we've reduced the word count on the essay from last year. Before it was 2,000, now it's 1,500. So that gives you some more time for your oral report. Right?
Can you give us any indication of the topics that will be available?
Not at the moment.
None at all? I'd like to make an early start on it if I can.
I'll have them ready by the next lecture. I can say that they will all be to do with the unit studied, so if you consult your course readings, you will be able to get a general idea.
Before you listen to the rest of the discussion, you have some time to have a look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen carefully and answer questions 26 to 30.
Now, I'd like to give you an idea about the dates for these pieces of assessment. In late June, the oral reports will be due. On the 21st of the following month, the essay will be due. Mid-semester and end-of-semester exams will be given. I'm not sure of the exact dates for those, but they will be during the standard exam weeks in July and September. I'll have more information about the exact date during those weeks by next Tuesday. The oral reports can often take up quite a bit of time. Please make sure you stick to the time limit. Most of you should go no longer than 15 minutes. Any more than 20 and you'll be penalised, and no one wants that, do they? So, keep within the time limit, please.
Excuse me, Dr. Thomas. I'm not very good with typing on the computer. Are we able to submit essays or reports which are handwritten?
The short answer to that is no. My best advice to you is to make it a goal to learn to type. In this electronic age, it's a skill that all people must have, and I really believe it's in your best interest to learn. I believe there's a typing class held here at the university in the early evenings, Monday to Friday. If that doesn't suit, a computer-based typing program is good. The computer lab is open late on Monday, Tuesday and Thursday, I believe. I think you can even come in on weekends. Saturday nights and all day Sunday they're open. Failing that, I suppose you could pay someone, but it could become quite expensive. Now, I'd like to briefly discuss the exams for this semester. I'm a believer that if you are prepared to work hard, that means complete all homework tasks, be up to date with the readings and participate in lectures, you'll achieve your learning goals and pass this course. The exam questions are a combination of tasks assigned outside class time as well as, of course, the information we cover here in class. Well, I think that just about does it for the assessment overview. Are there any other questions?
That is the end of section 3. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers. You will hear part of a lecture given at the beginning of a course in marine biology. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen and answer questions 31 to 40.
Students, I hope this first lecture, which I've called The Uses of Oceanography, will provide a helpful starting point for our studies this semester. In order to be a valid area of study, it has been said that the scientific study of sea or oceanography, as we call it, must point to the practical benefits that can be gained for humankind. There's no doubt many are the benefits which have been identified as a result of study in this field. Firstly, through careful study, oceanography helps us to determine where new raw materials for the future may come from, such as where new foods, for example, may be harvested. Certainly, to reap the harvest of the ocean is just as difficult as it is on land. Microscopic plants and animals or plankton are neither easy to gather nor edible for humans. Fortunately, our marine creatures do an excellent job at both gathering and eating, so we must continue to go out into the oceans and confront the often difficult oceanic conditions in an attempt to capture them for food. Of course, even in the most fertile areas, stocks of profitable and edible fish are not inexhaustible. In many areas around the world, limits are placed on numbers of fish that can be caught. Improving our understanding of marine species behaviour is therefore a dominant area of study for oceanographers. For hundreds of years, the ocean has been a cheap highway for commerce, but the challenge for those who travel it has always been to do so safely. Oceanographers therefore attempt to bring some predictability to the movement of currents, as well as the winds that blow and the effect these have on the waves that are generated. Early oceanographers such as Edward Forbes, a native of the Isle of Man and considered by many to be the founder of the science of oceanography, was the person to lay the foundation for British government's support of oceanography in the mid-19th century. Another of Forbes' contemporaries, Irishman J. Vaughan Thompson, collected and studied marine plankton off the Irish coast in 1828. In addition to marine life, Thompson's interests were in the tidal patterns and currents of the ocean. Another of the early professional naturalists that made significant contributions to marine biology was Charles Darwin. Darwin, most famous for his later works on theories of evolution, was commissioned early in life as a naturalist on HMS Beagle expeditions in the early 1800s. The Englishman collected and studied numerous marine organisms during this famous voyage, which eventually led to his subsidence theory of coral reef formation. According to this theory, fringing reefs form along the edges of an island, and then, as the island subsides, a barrier reef is created. So we see that early oceanographers were interested in bringing predictability to the ebb and flow of the vast ocean. With industry pumping out more and more waste, another area in which oceanographers have busied themselves is in the use of the ocean as a means of waste disposal. In an attempt to discover a satisfactory answer to the question, the processes of diffusion and mixing, and the manner in which they depend on the waves, tides and currents, remains a focused area of study. Nuclear waste has also been an important area. Oceanographers are currently studying the effects of the burial of waste into the mud of remote ocean sites. The nuclear waste is packed into metal containers and transported via ship to a selected burial site. There is always debate concerning whether seabed disposal of radioactive waste is simply dumping today with little thought for tomorrow. As we cannot predict the future, this question is a difficult one to answer. Instead of merely burying the nuclear waste, other means of disposal must be explored. This situation provides a strong future challenge for oceanographers and ensures their need for many years to come. In next week's lecture, we'll continue with our study.
That is the end of section 4. You now have 30 seconds to check your work. That is the end of this practice lab test. At the end of the real IELTS test, you would now be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet.